What's up, everybody? Mr. Beans here, and on this episode of our informative series, we're going to be discussing the Thai collection of Beanie Buddies. In specific, the first generation of Beanie Buddies, which I have beautifully displayed here before the camera for all to see. Now, as most of you may know, we're going to go through this as if you have no knowledge whatsoever. Beanie Buddies are larger sized variations of Beanie Babies. Just the same way that McDonald's did the Teeny Beanie promotion, which are miniature versions of Beanie Babies. These are actual Thai products that are larger than Beanie Babies, okay? And you can get a pretty good look, you know, knowing that a Beanie Baby kind of fits right in the palm of your hand. You can really see that these are quite a bit larger. And there are some different ones in the Beanie Buddy line that come in even larger sizes than this. But this is the standard Beanie Buddy size. Now, these, when they were initially released in store, these were made because some of the versions, you know, like we can see here, we have Humphrey the Camel, Royal Blue Peanut. Some of these, as well, Cranberry Teddy, they were very, very expensive Beanie Babies to come by at that time. You know, these ones were retired really early and they were really expensive. Not everybody could get their hands on them. So Ty made a smart business decision, as he was known to do, and re-released some of the more rare designs as a Beanie Buddy. And they're very, very soft. They're really nice for a child to kind of snuggle up with, and it's really the perfect size for a children's stuffed animal. Now, when these were released in the stores, these retailed at $9.99. They were $10 a piece. And to be perfectly honest, now we touched on it a little bit in the Teeny Beanies about how many were produced and what their values are. Beanie Buddies, not quite to the extent of Teeny Beanies, but a lot of Beanie Buddies were produced as well. There aren't a ton of rare or valuable Beanie Buddies out there. Now, that's not to say they don't exist. There are some examples that are the exception to that rule. But many, many, many of these were produced. And so, as a general rule of thumb, they are pretty easy to acquire now. And I would say, although they retailed at $10, you should realistically be able to pick these up nowadays for about that same price, maybe in the $10 to $15 range a piece, assuming that the condition is really nice, that the tags are all present and not, creased or really badly banged up. So, something really interesting about the Beanie Buddy line, because we're really here to discuss the first generation, which I have displayed here in front of us. Ty did something that he had done before. When he initially released the Beanie Buddies, he came out with an original 9. Just like he did when he released the Beanie Baby line. There were original 9 Beanie Babies, and for the Beanie Buddy line, we are looking here at the Beanie Buddy original 9. Now, these came out in late September of 1998. So it was near the end of 1998 that these were released in stores. And the reception overall was pretty good. They didn't quite ever gain the same following that Beanie Babies did. There was just so many Beanie Babies and variations and really limited quantities on some of them. The values they became really rare and really expensive. These never caught on quite like that. But he did follow the same method, the same practice of releasing Beanie Buddies and then retiring them along the way. And as we can see, our original 9 here, we have Jake the Mallard Duck, we have a Cranberry Teddy, Stretch the Ostrich, Twigs the Giraffe, Quackers the Duck with Wings, Rover the Dog, Royal Blue Peanut, Humphrey the Camel, and Beak the Kiwi Bird. And of these 9, just like he did with Beanie Babies, like I said, he retired Beanie Babies as they came out. In the Beanie Baby line, Humphrey the Camel was the first one that Ty Warner ever retired. But here in the Beanie Buddy line, that goes to Twigs. Twigs the Giraffe was the very first Beanie Buddy to ever be retired. All right. Now, these are not quite the same as Beanie Babies. There's one really noticeable difference, and I'll try and get the shimmer and shine on the camera, and that is the material that these are made out of. Now, what they did, Ty came up with a new sort of fabric just for this Beanie Buddy line that he called Tylon. And basically what Tylon is, it's extremely soft, guys. Really nice texture to it, and it holds its color and kind of shine and vibrance really well over time. If any of you have held a Beanie Buddy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, these guys are just super soft. Really nice fabric. And Tylon, yeah, that was a really great decision for him. It was a very nice fabric. Ty Warner was known for, you know, just spending hours and hours poring over the different fabrics and designs and the way that Beanie Babies and any of his product lines were produced. So it's really not surprising to see that he put a lot of time and thought into this new fabric that was to be used for the Beanie Buddy line. Now, let's discuss here. So we have in front of us the first generation. And what I mean by that is just like Beanie Babies, Beanie Buddies also have different generations based upon their hang tags. Now, how do we tell a first generation Beanie Buddy? So on the outside of the tag, it looks very similar to a fourth or, well, I suppose it looks very similar to a fifth gen Beanie Baby tag, as we have this here Beanie Original Buddy written inside of the yellow star. Top of the eye is crossed. That is going to look the same on generations 1 through 3 for Beanie Buddies. Now, where we're able to really differentiate here, the different generations on a Beanie Buddy, is when we open up the tag. What's really important to note here, so the inside right is going to give you the name of your Beanie Buddy, and it's going to give you a little fact about its Beanie Baby counterpart. And we can see this beak here says Beak the Beanie Baby and Beak the Beanie Buddy are the first to be released as a set. Now, where we're going to tell the generations apart, okay, it's all going to be right here in this second line of text on the left hand side. Now we can see inside of this tag we have Ty Europe Limited, Fareham Hants location. That right there is what's important. Fareham Hants address, that denotes a first generation Beanie Buddy hang tag. Now, second and third gen is going to have the Gosport address here. And I believe the difference between second and third gen is that second gens have Gosport misspelled Gasport. That happened a lot on Beanie Babies and Beanie Buddies. It's no different, but that is how we differentiate between second and third gen. Second gen is misspelled Gasport. Third gen spelled correctly Gosport. But for the sake of this collection and this informative we're doing, we are focusing just on this first gen collection. Now, these weren't available specifically only in first gen, so they are a little bit tougher to find with the Fareham Hants address. So if you're looking to piece together the original 9 Beanie Buddies, it really doesn't get much better than this, to have 9 that all have the Fareham Hants location. And I'm not going to spend time on camera going through. I can assure you that all 9 of these are Fareham Hants first generation Beanie Buddies that we have here in front of us. Now, with the first generation hang tag on a Beanie Buddy, just like on a Beanie Baby, we can have a couple different generation tush tags. And it's either going to come with a first or second generation tush tag. And the way we tell the difference there, on this beak, we have a first generation tush, because as we can see, we have the red Ty logo on the front. And if we flip it over to the back side, we'll see Ty Inc. 1998 is written in red. And then below that, the rest of the lettering is all written in black. So this, because it has the red and the black here, that is going to be a first generation tush tag paired up with a first generation hang tag. Now we can take a look at someone else here, such as our Jake, the mallard duck. Again, first generation hang tag, as all 9 of these are. We'll take a look here. Now we can see the Ty heart, unlike on the beak. Let's see if we can get a nice shot. You can see on the beak on the first generation, it's just the Ty logo here. If we look at Jake here, we can see above the tie heart, we now have the Beanie Buddies collection. And if we flip it over, the black text is now gone. It is completely replaced with all red text. So this is a second generation tush tag paired up with a first gen swing tag. Alrighty, so like we said, guys, a lot of Beanie Buddies were produced over the years. Prices tend to remain fairly low on these. You should be able to pick them up $10 to $15. If you're lucky, maybe you'll get a wholesaler that has a bunch of them and they're letting them go for less than $10 a piece. As long as condition is nice, hang tags are nice, they're really, really wonderful additions to any tie collection. They do take up a bit more space. And, you know, people have tried different methods to combat that in their collections over the years. Some people have used vacuum seal baggies, but when you take them out, sometimes it can kind of deform the Beanie Buddy, and you can kind of tell the Tylon fabric will get really matted down, and that will hurt the value. So if you have the space, they can be really wonderful additions to any collection. Now, although values on these in the grand scheme of things are pretty low, there are some let's call them specialty outlier pieces that do get valued more. There are valuable Beanie Buddies out there, which is where these differ quite a bit from teeny beanies. As far as teeny beanies from McDonald's went that were released in the US, there's really nothing to speak of. There were some Malaysian exclusives that are valuable, but pretty much anything that we got in the US for McDonald's teeny beanies hold minimal to next to no value. Beanie Buddies, not the same case. There are rare Beanie Buddies. They do exist, but they are really, really few and far between. Some of the more specialty ones that are harder to find, such as, you know, we have here this first gen Quackers the Duck with wings. He is also available in different later generations. I believe he started in 3rd gen. He could be found without the wings. That is a tougher Beanie Buddy to find. Also, Batty the Bat from the Beanie Babies line got his own Beanie Buddy. Now, the Beanie Baby version of him could either be found in brown fabric or tie-dye fabric. The Beanie Buddy has a version of available that is entirely black. He is one of the tougher ones to find. And there's also some sets. Just like in Beanie Babies, there were the Asia Pacific sets, the Champion Bears, and they got released. They got pretty widespread release in Beanie Buddy line as well. So to have a complete set of the Asia Pacific Beanie Buddies or the Champion Bears, a complete set of Champion Bears and Beanie Buddy, that can have some value too. You know, you can be talking up to anywhere between $100, $200, something in that range. Now, with all of that being said, there is sort of a holy grail piece in the world of Beanie Buddies, and I just so happen to have one here that I'll be able to show you guys on camera. I'm gonna back this up just a touch. And what we have here, this little guy shouldn't come as much surprise. You should recognize him from his Beanie Baby counterpart. This is Millennium, and Millennium the bear, he can be found as a Beanie Buddy. That's not unusual. That's not what makes him special. This is, you know, a holy grail Beanie Buddy, because this particular Millennium was released for a short period of time. It got numbered and hand signed by Ty Warner, as we can see right here. Now, there were only 303 of these made. And when I say these, I'm referring to the numbered and signed ones. A regular Millennium Beanie Buddy was mass produced. You can find a Millennium Beanie Buddy, no problem. As far as ones that have this specialty hang tag here for executives of Ty, these were given to find ones that were hand signed by Ty as well as numbered, he used gold ink, we can see right there. there were only 303 of these specific ones made. As we can see here, this one is numbered 188 of 303. Now, yeah, this guy, he really is kind of king of the Beanie Buddies. It doesn't get a whole lot better than him without diving into the world of prototypes. And you can also find oddity Beanie Buddies as well, just like we can with Beanie Babies. If you were to find a regular Millennium Beanie Buddy, not signed, not numbered, but maybe if it were to be missing his embroidery here on his chest, just like you can find with a Beanie Baby, really rare, really difficult, but it does exist. If you were able to find some sort of oddity like that, that would increase value as well. But for documented pieces that were released, this was not produced, this was for the public, this was not released in any retail stores. These were just for Thai executives. So he is quite difficult to come by. In today's market, this guy really, at auction, who knows, right? I don't think it's outrageous to say that he should comfortably fetch at least 400 USD or more. Being this one is authenticated, of course, by the one and only Becky Essenzoro, True Blue Beans. She is our favorite. This one you can see is mint with mint tag MQ, meaning museum quality. And that's really as good as he can possibly get. He is, you know, sealed in his acrylic case. He's in really fantastic shape. The signature and the numbering, you know, the ink is in really good shape on the tag. So, you know, this is just a prime example that there are rare Beanie Buddies out there. And this guy is the cream of the crop. But if you're not after extremely rare stuff, if you're just going to collect moderately and you're looking for a nice place to start, there's no reason not to start at the beginning. And when we're talking about the beginning, you really have to talk about the original 9 Beanie Buddies. Well, guys, that's about all I have for you today. As always, I am Mr. Beans, and I hope you had a fantastic time.